Well, happy, happy Post-Yom Kippur. And that may sound strange. We talk a lot in the Jewish idiom of the Eve, like New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, the eve of an event. Isn't that interesting? The eve, getting ready, the eve of the event. But what about after the fact? After the fact. After the fact. Hebrews 10:35-36 says, you want to read it?
So don't throw away that courage of yours, which carries with it such a great reward. For you need to hold out, so that by having done what God wills, you may receive what He has promised.
So you see, you have to do the will of God first. Isaiah 1:18, if you are willing and obedient. After the fact, after you've done the will, then you get the reward. And there's a great deal to understand the reward that comes, the reward. In human relationships, we don't always get the reward. You do something nice, do unto others as you have others do unto you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You do something nice. Is it wrong to expect nice back? Of course not. Whenever the Lord blessed the patriarchs, whenever the Lord did something, what did they do next? They gave what? An offering. Every time. Every time they received anything from God, they gave an offering. A, a great offering to the Lord. They didn't give him a crumb. They didn't leave a 10%, 15% tip. And that is the reason why Canaan's offering was rejected and Abel's was accepted. And you go and see yesterday, are people really grateful for having had their sins made, propitiated yesterday by the priest? And what does the priest represent? The one who saved your life, who's a vicar, a representation of the Lord. You don't have to do anything but just receive. The sacrifice was given in order for you to receive. My neighbor, when they moved in, no one asked me. I just blessed them because that's what you do. But no other neighbor did what they did. They were so grateful for having received. They exceeded my gift. And the next day, bountifully blessed me. But they didn't just do that day. They continued while they lived here to bless me over and over again. And one of the reasons why, and they were Muslim, one of the reasons why, because no one had ever done for them what I had done. And they never forgot it. And all they did without me asking, I could never reject it, were constantly giving me blessings. And David was so blessed to have the ark in the city after all he'd gone through. He blessed the Lord. And this is the reason why when people talk to Guy and I, we usually try to tell them, bless the Lord. Because in the Western world, and it's God bless you. In Israel, it's Baruch Hashem. It's God bless you. Let me give you a lucky charm. But you are no charm for the Lord. And you are no charm for his Torah. And you are no charm for his priest. And David said in the palace of the Lord, he said, here I am in a palace. And God's art, the things of God are out in the open air. And why did the Lord allow him to build it? The Lord said, I don't even want it. I didn't ask for it, but that wasn't the point. It was the spirit in which David was doing it. In other words, the Lord should have more than me. Don't you know those that minister to your soul should have more than you? Don't you know that? David was like, what am I? Look at me. I know so many people, they build onto their houses, they buy $60,000 cars, they buy collector items, all kinds of stuff, while the work of God and his priests go lacking. Because they have no desire for God's house like David. David was a man after God's own heart. Goes back to what we said in the other podcast, the heart. But where's the gratitude? Where is the gratitude for having been delivered? Where is the gratitude for having been fed? Where is most people fed? They're never grateful. I was ministering 2 days ago to a group of 10 different men, 5 at one location, 2 in another, and 3 in another, all together throughout that morning, 10. And 2 of them had sandwiches. And while I was in the middle of this great ministry and oration, and the Lord was doing great things, so much so, listen to this, so much so that 3 other men, so I guess it really was 13, 3 other men looked over. And this one guy, hardworking man, just looks over and he just had to join in. And he didn't ask, he wanted to be a part. And then the 2 men who had been listening, one's a pastor and one is his little mentoree, I guess. They were so rude that they were like, hey, we got to pray for these sandwiches. Weren't even in the moment listening to what the Lord was doing. And now you've got an opportunity that these 3 other people to the left now have an opportunity, but the sandwiches was in front of them. Yeah, interesting. And there are people do not get in between them and their food when they're eating. Rather say they love God or not. And I didn't say anything because it was too obvious anyway. Where the other 3 men who are not this pastor with his mentoree, they were eating. They stopped eating to be a part of my conversation. And the other 2 who had not yet begun to eat could not stand it. We got to pray so we can get to these sandwiches. Wow. Wow. And you can always see the difference, gratitude, and people are so grateful. Oh, I'm just so grateful. You're grateful for your atonement, or it was just something you had to get through, something you just had to get through. As you wake up this morning to give God a gift, no. Did you wake up this morning to make a sacrifice, a respectable sacrifice to the Lord, a sizable gift to God? No. And we know why. And it's so sad. I was so disgusted to see. And yet there's another blessing coming. Oh, keep it coming. Sukkot, tabernacling. There are people who can't get through a Shabbat or Yom Kippur. I sent a message to my former boss because I have known him for 20 something years. And I said to him, you're Jewish and it's Yom Kippur, and I know what you do. And I'm warning you, Don't you dare put one foot back in your office today. You've gone back and forth. For 20-something years, I watched on Yom Kippur going to the temple, and then you come back in the middle of the afternoon to show up in the office because you just can't. Give God a day. And I said, if you do, I want you to know, if you violate Yom Kippur, there is a judgment coming on you this year. Now, he hasn't talked to me in 3 years. It doesn't matter. I know his number because that's what I was sent there for. And I just sent that email reminding you, don't you dare violate Yom Kippur. Go to the temple in the morning and come back in your office for business. Don't you dare. Well, I might lose a deal. Then lose it. He lost his life for you. Most of you. It's post-Yom Kippur. We'll just see how grateful you are for your penitence.
Well, I can tell you what most people in Israel do. They just go back to how things were before Yom Kippur. And the merry-go-round goes around. I've seen it since I was a young boy, and that's probably one of the things that kept me from observing Torah. I didn't understand it, but I saw the people and I knew whatever they're doing isn't right. And it's only after I've gained some knowledge and insight and mature that I could separate the hypocrites from the Torah and see the Torah is not the problem, it's the people who don't follow. You can't blame God and His word for what evil people do who do not obey His word. As Paul said, the law is perfect. It's the people. And even Moshe in the Song of Moshe, Devarim chapter 30, 32, right? The Lord is blameless. It's His children. Wicked and perverse generation. But don't worry. I told my grandfather this morning. I said, don't worry. God is just. Everybody's gonna get theirs. You're gonna get a whooping. Trump's gonna get a whooping. Bibi's gonna get a whooping. All those people you hate, all those fake rabbis are gonna get a whooping. But so are you, Grandpa. Because you also don't do what is just and right. So you can't hide behind religious hypocrites for the reason why you don't follow. Because here I am, a faithful observant of Torah, a lover of Adonai, a keeper of Yom Kippur. So what's your excuse? I follow. Why don't you follow my example? Because the hatred of God is why.
Hallelujah. And they hate our example too, by the way. I always tell people, why do I need to tell you what to do? Look at what I do. Set the example. I had the men that I met in Newport. One of them is a Mormon who's come to faith. The other men have not talked to me. The Mormon cannot stop talking to me. And he said to me, this conversation, I can't stop. He goes, you're settling so many questions that I've had since I've come to Jesus and left Mormonism. Then I'm with Christian men, but somehow or another, there's something missing until I met you. There's just something missing. They seem to be about themselves. I just want to fellowship on the Lord and the mission, but they seem to be about themselves. And he goes, this has been so refreshing. And I told him, I said, I know. This is why so many people become so useless. Because even when they have, he says he tries to bring things up in the conversations when he's with the other men, and they usually shoot him down because they're guilty. And when you're guilty, you don't like the truth. I spoke to that man for a few hours, and not once, no matter what I said, did he have one moment of guilt. In fact, anything that he was guilty of, he said, oh, wow, I needed to hear that. Now I know what to do. I mean, he was excited. He goes, I want more of the Lord. I want more of the Lord and less of me. Praise Papa. He owns a company and stopped got out of his meeting to get to talk to me, not about business, about the Spirit of God and the love. He pulls up to his house. He goes, "No, I'm in front of my house. My wife, they just had a 7-month-old baby. She's in the parking lot looking at me, staring at me. Why don't I get out of the car? I can't stop praising his name. No, I just can't stop praising his name. I can't stop praising his name, Yeshua. I can't stop. I'm with my brother. He's feeding my spirit. I can't stop. You have the words of life. I've been longing to listen, to hear someone speak. I knew it. It's resonating with me. The words that come out of your mouth, what you're saying, it's resonating. Why haven't the others talked like this? Why haven't I heard this? That was day before yesterday. But for those of you who are followers, it's post-Yom Kippur. Yesterday was the representation of the atonement, the covering, the forgiveness for stuff that you should be in hell over already, stuff that should have you in your grave already. But you woke up this morning with blood in your veins, breath in your lungs, and in your right mind. And you couldn't wait like Ebenezer Scrooge. When he woke up after his Yom Kippur, and he gave gifts to men. When David brought in the tabernacle, he gave gifts to the whole country because he was the king representing God. Gratefulness. Well, today's post Yom Kippur. And those of you who listen to this podcast, you give a gift worthy of your gratefulness for atonement. If you're not under my ministry, whatever ministry you're under, you go and give your pastor, your priest, your rabbi, your mentor, who's ever the spiritual head of you, whoever God has sent in your life, whatever ministry that has fed you, you go to that ministry and you wake up. And if they are oblivious to it, they go, "Oh, Mike, what is the meaning of this? What is this?" "Oh, yesterday, the atonement." I want to give a gift of gratitude. Would you receive it on the behalf of the Lord? So get busy, because next week is Sukkot, the tabernacling of God. The opportunity you have now to walk with the Lord for eternity. It's just what Guy and I say all the time. People struggle, not in Israel, just in America. One, you pick the wrong day. And even when you pick the day that you call the Sabbath, you hate it. Even if Sunday was the day, what's the difference? 2 hours here, you're back to the beach, some cafe, out doing business, out making money, out spending money, out buying things. Okay, that's enough of that. 2 hours, 4 hours. Okay, let's get back to back to what I really want to do. I said, "Oh, well, don't worry. After church, we'll take care of it. After church, we'll mow the lawn. After church, we'll go to the mall." Yeah, Sunday, a good day to go to the mall. Oh, you do that. See, it's not because it's not your culture. Not your culture. It's the culture. See, the culture of Shabbat is in Israel. Everybody goes, nobody's out there complaining about it. The whole nation's used. It's their culture. And what makes culture? Routine. When you routinely do these things, they become natural to you. You get to routinely not drink. It's just how you get sobriety. It has to be something you do over and over again. It has to be something routine. It's a culture now. It's bred in the culture. That's what we do. Everybody has adjusted to the culture of Shabbat. What about the culture of praise? What about the culture of giving? What about the culture of singing? the culture of dancing, the culture of embracing and kissing. Most of the Christian people I know, they won't hug me full on. They'll give me a sideway hug. They don't hug you full on. The men are uncomfortable. They're not uncomfortable sleeping with a whore, but they're definitely uncomfortable with hugging a man. In the Western world, you go to the Middle East, men hug each other. They don't hug women. Here, you barely hug a man. Can't hug a man and embrace him. Kiss him. They kiss. The men kiss. Even in France and so many other countries in Eastern Europe, but not here. Oh no, they kiss their dogs and they'll kiss their women, but there's no fellowship with men. They don't hug each other. They're uncomfortable. When they pray, the culture of pray, the men are on their face and on the ground. When I go to Israel, I see the Muslim men and the Jewish men praying. And when it comes to singing and dancing, oh, it's the men. But when you come to the West, you've all been feminized. You hate God. You don't give him your money, so you don't give him your energy. You don't pray. Can't wait or pray over a sandwich. You're not on your face. You're definitely not dancing before God, unless it's a performance, Pink Floyd or some Christian rock band. You don't sing with volume. You're afraid. Oh, I can't sing. Nobody says that. The Muslims don't say that. The Jews don't say that. What do you mean you can't sing? Because it's performance for you. Well, I don't have a good voice. You have a voice, therefore you can sing. But you rob God of that. You definitely don't move your body and dance before the Lord. No. Unless it's something associated with some worldly style of music, because it's not about God. So the culture of praise is gone. The culture of giving your time is gone, or your money, or your gratitude, or your attitude. The culture of humility, bowing. The culture of fellowship, true fellowship with your brothers, gone. You're uncomfortable with love. You hug your daughter and then say, and barely hug your sons. You don't kiss your son, do you? You're uncomfortable because it's not your culture. So you read the wrong things in it because you're uncomfortable. And as well, you should be, because it's not your culture. But when you decide to graft yourself in and join yourself to the Lord, you have made it your culture. God shall be my God, your people shall be my people. I'll go where you go, do what you do, and I'll eat like you eat. I have abandoned the world and my culture. I'm leaving that luggage behind, and I'm taking on a new attitude. I'm going to dress differently. I'm going to talk differently. I'm going to walk differently. Why? You have to give that up. It's not supposed to be easy. That's the sacrifice. You give that up. Not because it's easy to do, because it's right to do.
Amen. Amen.
Now, let's see your gratefulness for your penitence and your atonement. It's post-Yom Kippur. Shalom.